Okay, good evening, Shaggy SoCal with 2Old4Forza, and this is the next track guide for TNT 42 and the Bentley GT3 um, at Bernese Alps Stadplatz Reverse. So what I was testing earlier, I'm now, as far as setup wise, I'm now fully on the wheel and still tweaking some settings. I just got my new set of completely wireless Xbox headsets, so that's new. I'm still trying to figure that out. So we'll see how this broadcast turns out as far as how the mic's picking me up and compared to the game volume, and if I have to do any tweaks there. Because with all that change, Twitch is now changed on the Xbox. So I had to go through the whole setup to get everything set there, and then go and double check the settings for stream rate. So I'm hoping this is going out at 1080p. But be that as it may, so this is experiments on multiple fronts. Um, so again, yeah, I'm fully on the Logitech wheel. Actually, had the first race at Bathurst, which I did all right. I mean, I think for what I was expecting, it's like I don't want to crash, I don't want to take anybody out, but I'm still messing with settings. One of the things that kind of came up in practice that I didn't want to change for Bathurst, but I changed for today, is again when I hooked this wheel up. I left everything default, to start off with, and then was only making slight tweaks. So, I mean, the one thing I did change was, I did reduce I made the brake a little bit more, the brake and the gas a little bit more sensitive to when I start getting on it, so they start grabbing. But the other thing was the wheel rotation was the default is 270, which would harken back to way back in the 360 days with the old Xbox, Xbox force feedback wheel. That's all it could do. So what I'm going to try now, because I actually raced Bathurst at 270, so I really wasn't turning all that much. I could actually flick the wheel a little bit to counter steer. So in kind of talking with Stu and some of the other guys on Tuesday, I'm actually going to double it. I want to go up to 540. That seems to be where most of you are running at, 540 to 570. So that means I'm going to have to turn a little bit more and hope, and we'll see how that impacts the race. But again, we're here at Bernese Alps Stadtplatz. It's not the longest version. It's actually, I think, that's not the shortest. It's kind of the medium length one. Instead of going around the lake, I think we're cutting across the bridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what I've done on all the other ones. I'm going to do a couple of flying laps, try and talk around that. I'll do a slow lap, kind of break down what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do with the wheel. And then I'll run a mock race with what I think, kind of based off lap times, what might be about half distance for the stream, but, double the laps, and figure that's what we're probably going to do on Thursday. So with that, let's go ahead and test drive. Now again, uh, I'm running without traction control or stability control, and I think for this track, there's only two places where I think traction control is really going to kick in if you're not good at modulating the throttle. But here, fourth gear, keep it going straight. We'll get a little air here. Now in the chat, I was talking about maximum commitment. This is maximum commitment. And the car's still pushing a little bit. Tires aren't fully warmed up yet. Still trying to figure this turn out, at least the entry. The exit, I'm pretty confident what I need to do. Up the hill. Straighten that as much as possible. Little lift. Car gets a little light. Aim for the last arrow. Blue sign. Look for the blue. And yeah, this turn I'm needing to relearn on the wheel as well. So I'll do one more flyer here. Fifth gear, I'm going to brake between the last two signs on the right. And if I get it right, now if I got a little went in a little hot, so just let the car scrub the speed. on its own, bring the car back around, get back on the gas. Ooh, little air. You can leave it in fifth or you can put it to sixth if you want, but still fifth gear here. Yeah, tires have warmed up. And we're going to take those cones out before the end of the race. Still pushing a little wide there, I think. Ooh. Yeah, went in a little shallow. Yep, using all the course where it lets me. So that's kind of the quick lap of Bernese Alps. So again, I'll be in fifth gear, coming down to the first turn. Now, my controller tendencies, I think I'm going to have to work to overcome that. I think with the wheel, you do want to be about mid-track, and I'll be playing around with this myself. A lot of times, I'm finding I'm to the right of the center line, but I'm braking somewhere between. Actually, hang on. The other thing I got to get used to is I don't have a thumbstick on this wheel that I can flick and do that stuff. So I got to turn the controller on. So what I'm trying to do here is, for me, braking it, as far as looking for static references that kind of correlate with the braking line, I'm going to be braking to get into this turn between the last, let me just move up here a little bit. It's going to be between the last two signs here, the flags here that are on the right. So about halfway between, that's when I'm going to get on the brakes. I'm going to downshift to fourth. If I do it right, the car, I should just be able to then arc the car in, let the car then, get off the brakes, and then the front tires kind of scrub the extra speed and be able to get the car down in here pretty nicely. This is one of those where I say, let the car do the work. You really can't hustle it. If you find that you've pushed wide, fine, just let the car ride up a little bit, slow it back down, and then start to bring it back down on its own. Don't try and get on the brake and try to really scrub. Just let the front tires scrub the speed down for you. But ultimately, the line that I'm trying to take is, if I can get it to the inside here, I do want to late apex it, so that maybe I'm just crossing the yellow line right at the end, because I want to try and take this next part when I'm accelerating out. I want to try and take these S's as straight with as minimal steering as I can. You're going to feel some vibration in the wheel as you're going over the bumps in the middle, but again, I'll use a little bit of the curve there, bring it back across, use a little bit of the curve here, bring it back across, use a little curve here. Now, as I bring the car out across to the right of the track, I think in past ones, usually what I'm trying to look at is I'm focusing on the O and 1 on the gantry sign there. So if I point the car straight towards that as I crest the hill, it's going to bring me about the middle. It's going to start bringing the car back to the left side, which is what I want. I'll be in fifth gear, and I'll bring the car out to the left here a little bit. I think it might be a little bit further than what the braking line will suggest. Again, I think this car is, we've all commented, it tends to push a bit, and it's really going to push here just by the nature of Bernese Alps. So I'm going to bring the car out here, but what I'm aiming for, if you see the 3 red flag banners here on the right side, I'm going to aim for the third one, the last one before it really gets onto the bridge. That's my braking point. So I'm going to be flat on the gas, and it is quick brake here. It's a quick brake here between that flag and this first black Forza flag stand. I'm releasing the brake here. And if I'm in fifth gear, I stay in fifth gear. If I'm in sixth gear, I downshift to fifth. The whole idea is to just do a quick scrub the brake, get off the brake. I'm not getting back to the gas. I'm letting the car kind of crest over this hill and down in. You can kind of see just coming up right here where there's a bit of a dip in the road as we're crossing the bridge. It's right about where that dip is. That's where I'm really going to start committing back to the throttle, because right about here, especially if it starts to go back up, the car's going to set. And you're going to be able to just really settle in and start rolling back into the throttle. And again, you're going to try and keep the car as far to the inside as you dare. You know, you might even scrape the wall a little bit, but I would say give yourself a little wiggle room. But try and hug the inside of this wall. And as you come off the bridge and back across, as I start to bring the car back across to this left-hander, I'm going to actually I'm going to let off the throttle just to give the front tires a little bit more grip and turn in to get the car into the corner, especially as we're kind of cresting over the hill. The front's going to get a little bit light. But then as I get in here, I'm going to start rolling back into the throttle, and I'm going to try and cut this, kind of using the right turn sign here as kind of a guide for apex. I want to try and clip the curbing here, which means any of the cones, I'm probably going to take those cones out the first couple of laps. If I've done it right, the car will keep coming back across, might get to about half track. If I do it right, I'll bring it back slightly. This is the one I'm still trying to work out exactly where to brake and how hard. It's usually, I might try, as I'm looking now, as going slow, I might look and see where I'm braking compared to where the tire barrier starts, and maybe try and correlate that with, okay, it's where the red starts or where the white starts. That might help me figure out where to get into the corner, and then do I need to be on the left of the line, on the line, to the right of the line? Those are the things I'll work out, you know, as I do the practice race and even in the race. But ultimately, it's down here. Let's see, you're still back. Let's see, fifth gear, still in fifth. This will be about fourth gear through here. I'm going to try and late apex it. And what I'm looking for, I've got two targets for the exit. The first one is, you can just see the sign there it's the yellow sign that's just on the outside of the corner that just came into view. That's the first target I'm looking for, because that's going to help me go, okay, I want to start risking rolling back into the throttle. The second target, my actual apex, is this next sign up here on the left. This is where I want to bring the car out to. Again, I'm taking advantage of the fact that this car's got understeer in it, so I'm using as much of the road as I can. So as soon as I get to that sign, I'm going to start bringing the car back across. Again, you know, this uphill straightaway has a couple bends in it, so I actually want to try and take it as straight as possible, minimize the steering, minimize the scrub on the tires, hopefully carry momentum as best I can up the hill. Should still be getting back up to fifth gear. I'm going to set wide for here, and I still haven't worked out exactly where I'm turning. I'm still kind of following the braking line, but I do want to set up wide here, and I'm actually kind of targeting the two inside, those two inside black Forza flags, so that I'm aiming for those as I'm cresting the hill. And as you saw in the demo laps, as I'm cresting this hill, you know, again, the front's going to get light, the back's going to get light as you crest over it, and the car's going to want understeer. I don't believe you can take this flat. So usually what I'm just doing is I'm doing a little bit of a lift to get the car over the crest and into the turn. And once it sets, then I'll start rolling back into the throttle, try and get back to full throttle as quick as I can. And my targets for the exit of this corner is, I'm first trying to spot the two black Forza flags on the left. And then I look just ahead of it to the last of the yellow arrow signs. That last one, that's what I'm looking for, because I want to try and bring the car out so that I am alongside of that, right up to the yellow line. If I'm using that as a reference, it minimizes the chance that I'm going to push wide too early and cross the yellow line and risk a time penalty. But again, I'll bring it out here, still fifth gear. I will cross over the yellow line, get on the rumble strip a little bit. As I turn in, again, I don't think you can do this flat. You're going to have to lift a little bit to get into the corner, but once you can tell it's kind of banked a little bit, but once you're in, you can start rolling back into it. And then I'm using this, the blue crosswalk sign on the right as kind of my aiming point of where I want to apex and have the car start to move back out to the left. And again, because it's a late apex, I don't get out here too quickly. I'm going to straddle this yellow line, setting up for the last corner. Now on the controller, I could get really aggressive on the braking and turn in for here. So I kind of use the bushes and the trees to kind of use that as the point, and then what I'm aiming for is if you're sitting here and you're looking at the turn, you can kind of see that first initial bend in. That's kind of where I try to aim to. So I almost take this last turn almost like a double apex, where I'll use that as the first one. The car will get a little bit wide, maybe just crossing the middle line, and then I'll let, and again, this is another one that you're going to have to be patient, let the car do the work. Slowly start to roll back into the throttle to get on the front straightaway. So, but I think this is one I still got to kind of relearn with the wheel. So heavy braking down to fourth gear. I think you can do it in third. I think third, it's a little too high in the rev range for my taste, but I'll probably be doing it in fourth. And again, let the car come out a little bit. Then I'll start to bring it back across. And then my exit, I'm kind of looking for the green signs here on the left side, just to help me guide me out to the edge of the track and back onto the front straightaway. So that's what I'm trying to do with this Bentley around Bernese Alps. This is going to be it is going to be it's one of these. I almost wish we could have done this with the Hondas, with the CRXs. I think this track with the CRXs would have been fantastic racing, because this track actually suits that car. It's really it's a momentum track, and I think the slower cars would race much better here. But we're here in the Bentley, so we'll make do with what we got. So I'll tell you what, let's stop talking. Let's start racing. Nope, keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Let's go ahead and finish that test drive. And let's see, we're going to go to, so again, I'm guesstimating. I mean, I'm controller. I was low 124s. I'm probably going to be low 124s here. I'm actually going to see if I can get into the 23s. But because it's such a quick lap, it's going to be somewhere around 50 laps, maybe 50 to 55, depending on what time Matt uses and what he feels like doing. So it's going to be a long race, just lap count wise. But again, it's a really fast lap. But I'm going to do 28 tonight. And again, same classes, same divisions that I'm racing against, just to give me some traffic, so that I can practice running into people. Again, as I always say, questionable racecraft. So let's go ahead and start the race. All right, so, all right, the Forza GT guys go first. I got the Skyactiv Mazda, and it looks like two of the Chevy DPI, not DPIs, the Chevy P2 cars. Prototype Racing Group next, and then the Forza P2 class. I was reminiscing the other day, my first race win as a part of 2Old4Forza, and I'm not sure if it was a Thursday night race or not, but it was in Forza Motorsport 4. We were racing the minis, not the 60 minis, the modern BMW minis here, but it was the club circuit reverse. So it was the shorter circuit, and a lot of fun. So again, that's what I say. I think this track, being more of a momentum-based track, suits the lower class cars better. But it's pretty fun with this car as well. So yeah, I'll pay attention to when I'm releasing the brake there. But if I'm braking about halfway between those two signs, I think I'm releasing as I get past the final one. The trick is making sure I've slowed down enough that I don't push too wide. So again, if I sense the car starting to push, and how I can tell is, look, if I'm starting to dial more steering into the car, and it's not turning anymore. It's still going kind of the direction it's going. Ease off the throttle. It's the extra calculation that your brain has to do here that maybe for those of you guys that have raced real cars, you feel in the seat. Yeah, that's gonna be a learning experience for me. Just that braking in there. I don't know that I'm braking enough. Yeah, I'm braking. I'm getting. I'm releasing the brake just after the last sign. I'm also thinking lap times should be a lot tighter between the buckets. I think the bulk of the difference in lap times are going to be for those couple of turns where you really have to brake. Yeah, okay, that's much better. I just have to be willing to really, you know, hit the brakes, with some force. Looks like it's the bushes on the left side, just before the tire barriers. Oh, it's a little shallow. I made up some time there. Late, 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 late. Well, that's a time penalty. Oh, that was a little bit early there. That'll make it work. Actually, while I'm heading up the hill, let me go ahead and set that. So this is what it is in third gear. If it was a little lower in third gear's rev range, I might do third there, but I think fourth for me will work best. So be patient, patient, patient. He's probably gonna, oh, nope, he's in the wall. Now again, these GTP cars, I think are quicker than me on the straight, but I will out-corner them. Oh, I gotta run. Now my guess is, I'll tell you what, I'll start that next lap, but think where I think passing opportunities will present themselves. Because, you know, since momentum is such a key thing for this circuit, the last thing you want to have happen is you get caught behind somebody and you're right on their tail. Whoops, don't stay in fifth, and you start running their pace instead of your own. So sometimes, you know, the best way to get by somebody is dive bomb them into the last corner. It's if you find that you're stuck behind somebody, probably one of the things you need to do is obviously you're quicker because you caught up to them. It's backing off just a bit, just enough so you can figure out where you're quickest, where they're quick. In some cases, they might be quicker than you in other places. And then plot out when you're going to make that move. It's like, how can I set myself up so that I can take advantage of where I'm quicker versus where they're not. I expect people to go wide there. Oh, I'm getting lapped? Holy crap. Oh no, he pitted. Whew. I mean, I knew the P2 cars are fast here, but all right, I'm going to leave you some space on the outside, but okay. A little bit shallow. Yeah, I got to be mindful of that wheel spin on the exit. All right, I'm going to go a little wide here in case. Yeah. Oh, bring it back across. Okay, that will not work in the race. No, I'm not going to argue with the GT40. Or the Lola that was taking a serious look on the inside. All right, let's see if I can get a run on him out of the last corner, or into the last corner. So I didn't time it right. Though he's got enough straight line, I'm not sure I would have been able to get by him there anyway. And he's going in. Nope, I thought he was going in the pits. Yeah, so this turn especially because it's such, whoops, fifth gear. It's such a, quick break, fast entry. I would expect people either to go wide or break too early. That's a good place to look to set up not going into that corner, but certainly time it so that if they're slow in, you can get the run on them as you cross the bridge before you get to the right-hander that takes you back up the hill. So I think that's really, as far as planning passes, it's really, don't think about trying to pass somebody going into a corner. Think about passing them coming out of the corner, and carry that momentum down so that you're already ahead, or at least side by side by the next corner. I forgot to check. We're on lap 11. What are my tires at? Oh, okay. 22%. Let's see. I'm trying to do that math in my head. So 2% for every, or 20% roughly, every 10 laps, 40. Yeah, I think you can probably get to half distance on the set of tires before they seriously start to fall off. But it makes sense that the fronts are going off a lot quicker than the rears, just because of all the high-speed turns. So I'm going to pit at the end of lap 14. Let's see if I can got some open space here in front of me. Let me see if I can set a quick one. Fifth gear, stay in fifth. Maybe third is. I'll have to play around with that. And the nice thing about third is because it's higher in the rev range, the turbo's already kind of spooled up, so I'm less likely to get wheel spin. I just wish it was just a little bit lower in the range for that turn. That wasn't so high up, but I'll push in a little bit. A little bit of wheel spin. 124.2. Darn you, Lamborghini. So yeah, I'm a little stuck on the outside. I'm not going to try and force a pass there. Really tough to go too wide, to be side by side at the exit. But of course, the AI always brake checks there. Whoa, you don't have to brake there. Yeah, it's almost like the fronts were twice as quick as the rears here, at least for me. All right, so here's going to be the tricky part. Pit lane is pretty much going to be the same line that most of us are going to take through the final corner anyway. You're just going to hug it to the right a little bit longer and go straight in. And short pit lane, so not a lot of time for partaking of alcoholic beverages. Or non-alcoholic beverages, if that is your preference. And on the way out, just keep it to the inside. And I would just say keep it to the inside and just brake right about the last banner. You're already in fourth gear. The car's going to push a little bit. And then you're right back on it. You guys are just, AI is just trying to brake check me, so I run into that wall. All right, I got clean traffic in front of me. Let's see what I can do. Pushing a little wide. Just be patient with it. Bring the car back down. Might have cost me maybe a tenth. Oh, I'm up. Shows you what I know. Oh, got up there a little too quick. That means the next lap's going to be dirty too. Oh well. Pushing, pushing, pushing. But somehow I found 2/10. I wish that one was clean. Okay. May have squeezed him a little bit, but that's AI. Wheels just vibrating, going, yeah, you're killing your tires. Oh! Got back to the throttle a little too quickly while I still had steering in the wheel. Damn it, too wide. Yeah, I think I still like fourth gear better. I'm gonna go wide again. Oh, not as wide that time. I was ready for it. Turned in a little bit too early there. Sorry, I'm in try hard mode now, so again, I can't talk and drive at the same time. Again, I was pushing a little bit too much, so I'm like, fine, I'm just gonna unwind the wheel and start rolling back into the throttle and take my medicine. Oh my God. I just saw the line of green cars that are just up ahead. Ooh, missed the braking point. I should be able to outhorse him up the hill. Maybe not. So I'm trying to. It's like I'd like to get another attempt at a fast, clean lap, but it's like but I'm still. So I'm looking at the traffic, going, can I get through the traffic and at least have maybe one lap in the race to try and set a fast one? I'm not sure that's going to happen. Unless shenanigans start happening because they're all clustered together. But again, Fearless in the chat talked about trains, and this could be exactly what happens in the race. I gotta make that work. Oh. I'm not going to argue with the chaparral, but, well. Yeah, this is going to be tough because I kick their butts in the corners, but then they just pull away on the straight. Let's try this outside move again. Ooh. Try to block one, and you leave yourself open to the other. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I know I ran a quote unquote clean lap at a 124.2. I think I have to look at my controller time. I think I was down to a 124.1 maybe. I'll have to look at that again. I think this is definitely one of the tracks where the wheel users have a little bit of an advantage, at least as far as tire wear. Gentle on the throttle, gentle. Oops. Nope. I was wondering, it's like, I wonder if I'm just for kicks and giggles if I'm up this lap. And nope, still a little slow. And that's Bernese Alps in the Bentley. So yeah, front tire scrub. Uh, at least for what I'm doing, yeah, the front tires are going to wear a lot quicker than the rears. You'll notice that immediately. But I still don't think the wear is so critical that I think if I do the math and say like 2.2% a lap, you could, and if we're doing roughly a 50 lap race, it's like, yeah, you could go pretty far. I don't know if you could go quite halfway on a single stint, but you can go pretty long. So, but there it is. At least officially 124.5. I had a 124.2, only because there was a Lamborghini that decided to dirty the lap. But then I wouldn't be surprised to see if Stu and Landrail maybe find those extra couple of tenths and maybe get into the 23s. But again, I think the bucket times are going to be a lot tighter uh, for this race. At least that's my thought. But we'll see how it all pans out. But anyhow, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm gonna go rest my shoulders for a while. That's the other thing. It's like conditioning. Arm's not used to doing all of this. But hope you guys have a great weekend and happy racing.